My name's Dave. I go by Diggs as a nickname.
Okay.
And also join us is Amy. We run a company called Hell Entertainment.
Okay.
We are a publication for artists, for concert photographers.
Okay.
Basically, in a nutshell, of what we are. We're also a supporter of, the LGBTQ community. Um, and really, why we wanted to do this today was to spread the word of what you do, um, learn more about what you do,
Okay.
and help get your message across to folks that are looking to find an avenue to go to. So thank you for taking some time tonight to sit down with us and talk with us. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
If you can, just dive into a little bit of what you do and what the organization is about.
Sure. So Seacoast Outright has been around 27 years. It was founded in 1993 and was the outcome of a conference at UNH between a whole bunch of actually sort of community members, clergy, professors, and people who realized after this intense conference that there wasn't really a lot of support for LGBTQ youth in the area at all. And so it started off as a volunteer organization, and a little while later, about a year or two later, added an executive director who's pretty much been the only staff person ever since, maybe one or two more. And our program has stayed, and our mission has stayed pretty steady since then. Our mission is to support LGBTQ youth in the greater Seacoast area. That is coastal New Hampshire, coastal Maine, almost up to Portland, and actually parts of northern Massachusetts. And in all honesty, we serve kids all over New Hampshire as well, and that kids come from as far as actually Plymouth, New Hampshire, and Wolfboro, and travel quite a ways because there just isn't a lot of support services in the area. So we do that by, our main program is that we provide a Friday night group. We actually two groups divided by age. We serve a range from 11 to age out of 22. So usually there's a younger group of kids, an older group. We have a cadre of adult facilitators, 2 per group, that we train and support and try to connect with them and give them support also in their own way for their own constantly evolving education around facilitating youth groups. And let's see, we have a monthly parent support, so a weekly youth group, a monthly parent support group that is mostly parents of transgender kids at this moment, but has been a variety at times. We do sort of informal case management in that I get probably a couple of calls a week for parents of LGBTQ kids looking for referrals, mostly therapists, sometimes medical stuff, often just to join our group or have questions about that, but some other odd things now and then. Now and then we have kids, about 50% of homeless kids are LGBTQ for a variety of reasons, and so I'm often trying to hook them up with organizations that provide housing. We have kids who have food scarcity at home. We connect them to Gather in Portsmouth, runs a teen youth food program. So in some ways, we're always trying to work with other nonprofits and connect them to services and our kids to services in the area. We also put on events for our kids. So there's an annual summer cookout, a Halloween party, a holiday party, an open mic night, and then a variety of other stuff that is pretty ad hoc, as well as the fact that we've been putting on Pride. This will be our 6th year putting on a big Pride. Our usual June date has been postponed till October. I'm hoping it'll still be in person. But usually June is Pride Week, and there are a variety of events we have every year. So the music hall and the loft usually show a couple of LGBTQ specific movies for us. There's a fundraiser at Flatbreads. There's these out and about specials. A lot of the restaurants and bars have specials and donate back to us. Brim North donates a whole day of their labor costs to us. They're a tattoo parlor, and they're fabulous. And it all leads up to having a big march, and then a gathering at the Strawberry Bank Museum field with about 100 vendors. So a lot of tables with food, nonprofit organizations, everything from the Sparhawk School, which is one of our main sponsors, is a school down in, wow, I just forgot where they are. They're in the North, let's just say the North Shore of Massachusetts. Um, and them all the way to like the Stonewall Democrats, to people trying to rehome puppies and things like that. So and then we have some speeches and live entertainment, and we sell a tremendous amount of rainbow swag of our own. And we also do some amount of outreach. So I've been asked to speak for different organizations and come in and do sort of a 101 sort of gender identity, sexual identity, orientation kind of discussion. We've been also a member of I'm going to get this right, let me think. We're a member of the Seacoast Youth Suicide Prevention Network with Chase Home, which also means I have a PowerPoint that I come and discuss, the statistics of how much worse it is if you're an LGBTQ kid. In that, what's the really bad statistic? Something like 92% of the transgender kids who have attempted suicide, and that's a very large number, do it before the age of 25. So, and the statistics around bullying and safety and things that kids can do to support themselves and things we can do as a community to support them. So, and we're about to roll out this great program. So if you put anything out there, it's this one. As a partner with Big Brothers Big Sisters in New Hampshire.
Nice.
It's a way to reach rural kids throughout the state that would not be able to come to a meeting, who might not be out at home, but who really need some help and are suffering. And we've been working with them for a while. And we're launching with some PSAs on the radio and a bunch of print materials that will get out there eventually, and on our social media, to start connecting LGBTQ kids throughout New Hampshire with an adult mentor.
That's awesome.
That's what we do. And we are having a virtual Pride June 27th. So if you want to send in some little short performance clips we're happy to put them up. There's somebody trying to break in there. We don't, all this is volunteer. We're not paying anybody for this. So, but if you have anybody who wants to get their name out there, a folk singer or an entertainer, as long as it's family friendly, we're good with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know once things calm down and COVID kind of slows down, we can get back to a normal life. I know myself, and I can say Amy might be willing to do some photography at one of your events as well.
That'd be great.
To come down to one of the marches or one of the festivals you guys have and do some photography for you guys, of course. And also feel free to send us some of the literature you guys have for the Big Brothers Big Sisters that we can put up on our social medias as well and our website.
As soon as we launch, I will put you down on our list. There's a woman named Casey. Oh my gosh, I forgot her last name. Casey Carr? No, that's somebody else. Casey, I'm sort of old and forgetful. Casey, who does all the communications for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I will send her your information. So keep an eye out from her. It will come
Excellent.
From her. So
thank you. So with the youth program, if you will, is it a support system for youths who are having trouble coming up to say like their home life? Will you guys help them?
So we see a variety of kids who really come in a variety of ways. And one end of the spectrum, I would say, is we have kids who are white, middle class, live in Rye, have supportive parents, are out, are comfortable with themselves, or some combination of that. And just want to meet people and come to a meeting and hang out, right? And play. And sometimes they just want to play cards, even, right? It's not even a discussion group. At the other end of the extreme, we have kids with mental health issues, who have very unsupportive households, who might have been subjected to physical or emotional violence in their home, might have no food in their home, might be homeless. And they need a much more deeper dive into support services than we can provide at the moment. We're hoping actually to launch into mental health service for them a little bit more. And then there's a bunch of kids in between. So, on Friday nights, a lot of kids come, they talk about all sorts of stuff. It can be stuff as heavy as I've been sexually assaulted, and as and stuff like I'm writing a paper on Nicholas LaFlamme for my history class right now. And everything in between. So it really changes depending on who comes and what they're looking for. And, generally though, we're not, a mental health organization or a counseling group. And so, it's more of a sort of a social support scene, I would say.
Very nice. Excuse me. So when it comes to the monthly parenting groups, is that for parents to come and learn a little bit more of what's going on with the LGBT community, with their children?
I think I actually I don't go to the parent group. We have a board member and another volunteer who actually run it themselves. So I've only been there once just to say hello and introduce myself. So I'm not exactly sure, but this is what I think happens at our parent group, is that for parents, especially of transgender kids, a lot of them are, if they're new to this idea, they'll be looking for services. And so a lot of parents of LGBTQ kids are going to be talking to each other about where to find the kind of help their kid might need, whether it's medical care, hormonal treatment, surgery for the transgender kids, or just therapy, and who they can recommend. So a lot of them are just seeking sort of referrals and services. And for parents who are sort of new to this, they just want to talk to other parents about what their experience has been like and what they can expect down the road. And then I think we have parents who come who we have some who have transgender kids who are adults, who are in their 20s. And I think for them, they're offering some much needed wisdom to parents who are just beginning to navigate what this is going to be like for their child. And that means everything from how do I keep them safe to how do I approach my school system? Because every single one, is going to be in a school somewhere, and not every school is very hospitable or has a transgender policy. To how to talk to their own children, how to wrap their own head around this, where to find things to read. So it can really be a very large range of things that they're looking for.
Very nice. I know a new law was just passed for the LGBTQ community, where now you cannot be fired for your gender or sexuality, which is a very big win.
Not a law passed, but a Supreme Court decision. Yes.
Yes.
So, but it makes law. It makes a precedent. Obviously, I hope. But yes, no, that's a huge surprise and a great one in a time when we sorely need some good news. And Gorsuch, who knew, huh? I mean. But there you have it. And also, actually, another Supreme Court decision came down today about DACA. So supporting the DACA program and denying Trump the shutdown that he wanted on it. So that was also a great surprise. But for us, it's really great news, and it means that there's some precedent on a federal level for protection now that was not there before. So, and I'd say about half the states I think had it, and half of them didn't. So this is good. But don't forget, people will still fire you for who you are, and it still means you'll have to fight. Hopefully not all the way to the Supreme Court anymore, but it was really great news for our community. So yeah, for everybody, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amy, you got anything over there?
I answered all her questions already.
How long have you been with the Seacoast Outreach?
Outright.
Sorry.
That's okay. I was hired I think I began just at the end of January of 2019. So I've only been at it a little over a year. And right now, because of COVID-19, we've had to shut down all our in-person events and meetings and Pride, and are working our way into new formats. So we did Zoom for a while, but I think a lot of kids found it really anxiety producing to be on screen. I mean, they were already on Zoom several hours a day, but a lot of them dropped out, and we've been playing Pictionary instead on Friday nights, which is a lot of fun. We leave Zoom open on the side so you can hear each other, but then everybody opens Sketchful as a Pictionary game, and we go there and just play. So that's been nice. And we're about to launch a Discord chat space that is text-based, where you're just typing, and we'll have moderators really more than facilitators. And that way, I think that will be easier on kids who are not out at home and are worried about their parents coming in and seeing what they're doing, and who don't like the Zoom format. And then we're also going to add these 1 to 2 check-ins, where they can just make a date with facilitators that most of them already know and are familiar with, and have them to themselves for 15 minutes just to say how they're doing. And we'll have 2 facilitators on board to talk to them. So I'm a little concerned because, for kids who were already struggling, some of them were in residential treatment programs, some of them are not doing well at home. This is a really tough time for LGBT kids, more than straight kids, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not in a supportive home to begin with, if you don't have your peer support, your peer group, if you can't come to meetings with Seacoast outright, if you can't escape to your school or library or mall, then you're going to be pretty darn miserable. And that's a really lonely place to be if you're lesbian or gay or bi or trans or queer or all of those. So
now do the kids, do they have I don't want to say a sponsor, but someone they can call to talk to if times are tough, especially with what we're going through today?
Well, we always tell them they can call our number and they'll reach me, and then I'll try to hook them up with services. We've certainly been on our own social media, trying to spend more and more time broadcasting. The Trevor Project runs a national suicide prevention hotline 24/7. NAMI, which also runs a hotline, though not LGBTQ specific. And also local mental health services are available at like Seacoast Mental Health, and they can always pick up a phone and call them directly to talk to a counselor. So we don't offer counseling services in that sense. I was originally an architect, in fact, so I can't really claim any credentials that way. But we certainly do a lot of referrals and are happy to hook them up. And if someone were really hurting, I hope they would reach out to me. We tell them all the time to just call us, and we will help them, and we will. So
that's awesome. What you guys do up there is incredible. Just the support that you guys provide is phenomenal from what we've seen, and there's not a whole lot of that kind of support, especially down here that I haven't seen.
Well, maybe not in Plymouth, but there must be. I'm sure there's something. I mean, Boston and Cambridge, between the two of them, have still lots going on in the LGBTQ community. But times have changed, and what's really interesting is I've noticed that, I came out in high school in 70-something, 75, maybe 76, and was out in college, and then came back to Boston and worked there, was part of a really pretty radical and active community of LGBTQ people, and also just progressives who were straight. And it was a time of great growth for our movement, and a lot was going on. There were constant demonstrations and things to protest and things to get together and fight about. And now it's a lot of the institutions that sort of formed around the women's movement and the LGBTQ movement have really disappeared. Women's bookstores are gone, and a lot of the bars have closed, and a lot of the community centers you had, and a lot of the ad hoc kind of communities and committees that formed are gone. And I have adults calling me all the time looking for adult community space, and there just doesn't seem to be one up here. So, if you're a lesbian and you don't play softball, you're sort of screwed, I say. But we're hoping to eventually start offering services to a wider range in terms of age. Certainly we could be serving much younger kids who are transgender, so really 5 to 11-year-olds, and our parents are asking for that service. And then there are tons of young adults from their mid-20s into their mid-30s who really are looking for community that doesn't really gel or connect anymore, and we're hoping we can be a catalyst for that. So maybe someday Portsmouth will have its own LGBTQ center and a space that really is where people come together to meet and do things. So I'm hopeful about that for our future.
Yeah, that would be nice. Where can folks find you guys if they want to reach out, or if they want to?
They can find us online. We're at www.seacoastoutright.org. And also we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Just Google us, you'll find us. And they can always, my email and our organization's phone number are also at the bottom of our website. People can always call us in a crisis and get referred to services that they need. So.
Excellent.
And I like the little thing you got going on back there.
Amy actually designed. We actually have a Pride Month merch line that we put out this month.
You're kidding! I'll have to keep my eyes on that.
That Amy designed, and any profits that we have off of that are going to be donated to you guys.
No kidding! That is so cool.
As a support for us, for you, for what you guys do.
That is very kind of you. I really appreciate that. That's very nice.
And I know Amy has some stuff up on her website as well, because she is her own photographer with her own company as well. But she helps me run this.
I will also be donating whatever I make from that.
Thanks, Diggs and Amy. I really appreciate your talking to me about my group. I love talking about my organization.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was sort of sweet.